Hello, magnificent human beings. My name is Landon with Yoga New Mexico, where we focus on empowerment, alignment, and strength. You are in the right place, capable and strong. It is Wednesday, and it is time for our yoga education. Camel pose. Yeah. Ustrasana. Camel pose. Yeah, that one. This is a excellent posture to talk about a lot of things because really people have a big aversion to camel, and so we're going to explore that a little bit. We're going to look at some of the technical aspects of camel pose, our Ustrasana. Stay tuned, roll out your mat, and I will roll the intro screen. Camel pose, Ustrasana. Yes, that is exactly what we're going to look at. Now, camel pose is this cool hybrid of two different things. It is part machine, part animal. No, just kidding. It's part back bend, and it is part heart opener as well. So what I mean by that is one kind of balances the other. You should not rely too much on bending into your back because you start to collapse into your back. So the reason why the heart opener part helps is because it helps you to lift and not to crunch into your back and crunch into those vertebrae, right? And the heart opener is great, and you should be, opening, up your heart as you come on back and keeping those shoulders back. But the more you go back, the more you're able to really do this, because at some point, you can let gravity take control and have your arms just kind of drop on down, and that really helps to open up your sternum and your ribs and your chest. So let's take a look at camel pose. First thing is first, two fists in between your knees. So you want your legs to be hips distance. Feet can be either tucked or untucked. Now, this is really doesn't matter actually which one you do, whether your toes are tucked or you're not, because I feel that this is where a lot of people will start, and then once you get to here, that's kind of a more amplified version. Is your goal to get your feet flat down? Yeah, but if it happens, it's really not a big deal. Fists in between your knees here to help measure that hips distance, and coming on up. So your camel pose, there's a few things to keep in mind. Legs should be relatively straight back. If they come, let me illustrate this here. So they should be relatively straight back, but if they are in just a tiny bit, then that's fine. But legs more or less straight back. So definitely don't have your feet crossed or anything like that. So legs straight back as best as you can. And then starting out in camel, you need to put your hands wherever they're comfortable. Now, some people will not be able to come back very far, so having a comfortable position for your hands or your fists is key. I like to make fists and put them in at my low back because that helps me to round my shoulders back. Some people put their fingertips up. Putting them down, I don't really like that because it starts to round those shoulders a little bit. So maybe at least putting them off to the sides or on your hips here, wherever it may be. Bring your eye gaze upward. So this is where things start to get scary for some folks, is because as you come back, your heart starts to race and you start to maybe worry. Some people don't have problems with camel. Other people, this is their least favorite posture ever. So wherever your hands are, make sure your Arms are comfortable, hands are comfortable on your hips, on your low back, wherever they may be. Then roll those shoulders back and look up and stay right here. So this is the base of your camel, and this is what you should get really, really comfortable in. In a lot of my classes, I encourage people to hold the base of their camel before coming down and get focused on their breathing. I'll say take 3 breaths, take 5 breaths, something like that, so you can get comfortable in your camel. Because as you go back, what's the first thing to go? Your breath. We always stop breathing when we start to come back, and we get worried and we stop focusing on our breath, and then the pose gets harder, and well, it's just kind of a, avalanche effect. It keeps getting worse and worse. So stay in the base of the posture. Stay right there and take 3, 4, 5 breaths, whatever it is. Maybe close your eyes and just get confident being right there. And now that you have your breath is the pace at which you can go back. So just kind of think about inhale, heart opener, exhale, back bend, and just go gently back and forth between both of these until eventually you come as far back as you are comfortable. And it takes time, but everybody's going to be in a different place. So inhale, heart opener, exhale, come back. Inhale, heart opener, exhale, come back. If you are here practicing camel with me as we're going through this, I highly encourage you to do a few rounds of rabbit or a few rounds of child's pose to help kind of balance things out, because this can be a pretty intense pose. So round on down. I definitely do not recommend trying to clinic or really work on this posture alone. You should probably only focus on doing camel after a full class and you're fully warmed up, because to come into this intense of a back bend just right away, for a lot of people, can be pretty scary. It could be, you could even be inviting injury into your practice, and we don't want that. I just got through doing a full class, so there's the disclaimer there, is that I am relatively warmed up still. So that's the pace that you should go at in your camel. Inhale, heart opener, exhale, back bend. Inhale, heart opener, exhale, back bend. And that's the breath cycle to think about. Another thing to also keep in mind is that as you go back, you want to keep your hips on top of your knees. So this is pretty good. And as you come back, your hips should stay above those knees as best as you can. Don't jud your hips, forward really, really hard, and don't cheat by coming here, right? The journey is all from your hips above. You're going to feel this in your hip flexors as you lengthen up and out and you come on back as well. So keep that in mind. Keep your hips stacked above your knees. Eventually, your hands will be able to touch and grab for your heels. Now, whether I mentioned you have your feet flat or your feet like this, it doesn't really matter. Obviously, your heels are higher here, and it might be a little bit easier to grab for your heels when they're up a little bit higher. That is your camel pose. So in your Ustrasana, your camel pose, those are the biggest things I really encourage people to think about. Your breath. Inhale, gentle heart opener. Exhale, gentle back bend. And keep going like that. And keeping those hips above your knees is important. Engaging your glutes, that helps protect your low back. Now, we say as instructors, engage your glutes to protect your low back. And that there's a fine line, right? Like you should not be squeezing your butt so hard that it's about to cramp, just gently. Engaging that area really does help to protect the low back. But if you squeeze it too much, then you're going to push your hips forward. So obviously, find what's good for you. Maybe it's 50%, maybe it's 20%, of like your full strength. So keep that in mind as well. Those are your tips for your camel pose. Thank you so much for being here. Again, you are a magnificent human being. You are in the right place, capable and strong. From my heart to all of yours, namaste. Thank you so much for watching. It means the world to me that you have decided to come along with me on your yoga journey. If you like this channel, then tap the button down over here to learn more about how you can help. I keep with a regular posting schedule, so if you have not subscribed already, tap this button up here.